Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to Jesse's Garage. We're happy to have you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Well, today is part 2 of that Snap-On Toolbox Resto mod. And so I call it a Resto mod because, well, we're not putting it back original. Probably because it's almost impossible for us to put it back original. And so, anyways, we're kind of modifying it. We're kind of doing some different things with it. So hopefully you've seen the very first video where how much of a mess it was with that. Sometimes you win, sometimes you get stomped to the ground. And then the last video, which talked about us tearing it apart. All right, so I got the box painted. I won't show you that part yet, but we have one more drawer face. I took off all the drawer faces. We got one more. Remember the one with that hole in the middle? We're going to look at that next. We're going to try to see what we can do to kind of repair that and then kind of go from there. All right, so hopefully you'll enjoy that part, and then we'll start putting it all together, and then we still got to put a top on it, and then see what else we do with it that way. All right, you guys ready? And let's get the camera turned around. Here we go. Okay, we are back. And so, as you can see here, this is that one drawer face. Remember, they tried to drill in this side too, trying to get that toolbox unlocked. And then what they did is that they put some kind of metal cover plate over it. But this thing's pretty rough. I can even feel this aluminum, because these faces are aluminum, incidentally. I can even feel how indented that is, and then how this one is sticking out. So we're going to have to probably do a little bit of grinding on this, and then we're going to have to go through and try to fill this in to some degree or another. I'm going to go and take this and put a little bit of a grind on it to see if I can get that smoothed out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. We went through and got this thing all sanded down, so that part makes it really nice. That way, so we don't have all of that unevenness that we've had in the past. So I don't know how well you could see that there, but now everything is smooth to the touch, because it was pushed out from whenever they were trying to screw it in, and so there's some low spots in here. There's no doubt. I just now feeling that I may go down just a little bit more there, but overall it's a lot better. So now I'm going to mix up some epoxy. Or some putty actually, after I get done sanding this down, and then we'll try to fill this in to some degree or another. So let me get set up for that, and then grind this down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'll tell you what we're going to do here. I'm going to take some tape, and I'm going to tape the back side of this down, so at least it'll conform to some degree or another. I don't know if I can do it with my gloves, so it might stick to that. But that's kind of the thought, and then we'll mix up the epoxy on the back side or on the front side, and then make that go. So let me get a piece of this tape, and let's see if my thought is correct here, or if I'm just cuckoo. So let's see here. All right. All right, so we got that part there. We want to try to do just kind of like how it's indented here, kind of the forming of that, where we have some material still left. So that way you can tell where it's kind of right there. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but this thing goes out pretty far as the hole is concerned. So we don't have a lot that we can work with, but at least we got it down to some degree. And so let's see what we have here. So we can see that it's going to give us a little bit of backing for just a moment until we can kind of get that epoxy in there. So let me turn it around so I can get a little bit of view. So again, we're just going to go through and just try to fill this in, and then this is what we're going to sand smooth. So we left it a little bit rough on purpose, just for the sake of us not, for the sake of it being able to adhere. All right, let me go get the epoxy. Okay, so this is what we're going to use. We're going to use this steel stick, and so it says steel reinforced epoxy putty by JB Weld. And so I was turned on to this by Trouble, incidentally. So Trouble he sent me over a piece, which I can't wait to get it dressed and kind of get it displayed. But he sent me over a piece, and then it came broken on the little crank handle, and so he sent me over some JB Weld at that. And man, that thing, I was so impressed. It worked so good. So I think I'm going to try it here on this one and to see how we go. All right, so here we go. We have the two pieces, and we're going to mix it all up. Okay, so I think we're pretty consistent in color here. So that's our mark we're looking for. So I'm going to kind of flatten it out just a little bit. Let's see how we do here. See if there's enough there or not. So it's pretty sticky here. Now this we're going to have to sand and kind of form to the shape of our drawer front. But again, all we're trying to do at this point is just kind of get this thing reinforced so that way it doesn't look so bad. Now I know there'll probably be some other ways, especially some of you body guys that are out there that you would recommend, and I'm all open for that, by the way. So if you have some other thoughts, you can throw it in the comments. I would love to hear that, and that would make my day like crazy. And so, because that's what I try to do on this channel, is always trying to experiment and learn and try to bring new tricks to the table and try to learn some new tricks. So there we go. So now we're just going to let that set up, and we're going to let this dry. And then we'll go through and start sanding on it, and then we're going to paint it. And incidentally, while we're here, we're going to sand it, and then we're going to paint it. And these handles right here, the grip portion, my thought is I'm going to do that different. I'm going to wrap these. And so I hope you like the color that I picked out, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let me go ahead and let it cure up here real quick. Okay, so I went through and I worked on the top just a little bit. As you can see here, and so I rounded off these corners. I took this butcher block and I put it on here. I got it to fit pretty snug that way, so that part is really good. Now what I need to do is to go through and probably put a little bit of stain and a little bit of sealer on it. So this is the box thus far. It's kind of dirty still, but you notice that all the fronts are off that way. So but anyways, I need to make the decision. I was thinking about doing like a whitewash type finish, just to kind of keep it pretty light, but I'm kind of wondering if maybe I need to go through and do just a dark finish, just to kind of give it that rich look. I don't know. What do you guys think? Think about that for just a minute while I decide, and then we'll go from there. I still need to get my lock in here. All right, so there's what we have so far. I'll be back after I get stain in here. Okay, I think I've decided. I was trying to maybe do that weathered gray look. I thought maybe that would kind of blend in, but it kind of looked like it was kind of dirty. You might remember that I did that on that hammer, that body hammer, but it turned out pretty good because it was charred. So I don't think I want to go through that much effort and char this thing. But I think I'm just going to do a really dark color, just like you see here, just to make it pop. Make it have some contrast that way. So we're going to try that. Let's see how it goes. I guess not try it. We are going to do it because I ain't taking it off. All right. Apparently I'm out of my little brushes. I don't know what happened to my little brushes. So I'm going to use a rag, and we're going to get the staining on here, and let's just see how it goes here. All right. So we're going really dark, as you can see here. Okay, so we are back on here. I stained it all, and I even put a top coat on it. So now I'm going to go through and just kind of give it just a little bit of a top sand, and then we're going to spray it again, wipe it down, and then spray it again, and get this sucker to really come alive. I believe, at least that's what I'm hoping. So I can kind of get this knocked out just real lickety split here. So give me just a moment just to work on this, and then we'll get to spraying. Okay, I got just a little bit of a sand on it, so let me go ahead and wipe this bad boy down real quick. and see what we come up with on a final coat. Actually, probably a final couple coats. So I'm going to do this number here, and then I'm going to spray it off as well. So I always like to spray it off because that kind of gives me a cleaner surface. Kind of gets inside all these little pores. Okay, so we are there. So I'm going to turn on at least this fan, and then I'll turn on the other one out of here. So we're going to go through and play around with this bad boy here. So I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to get this backside real quick. And like I said, we're probably going to have to do 2 or 3 coats. At least that's what I like to do. All right, so there's another coat. And so I'll come back whenever we get it done and put it on the box. How about that? All right, so let's take a break for just a second. I got the top finished. I got it, the top on top of the box actually. But let me give you a couple updates. One is I've been waiting on this lock from Snap-on to come in, and lo and behold, I finally was able to connect with our Snap-on dealer here, and he tells me that Snap-on doesn't make the components, that rod and the other pieces that connect up to lock the box. I've been waiting to cover up the top of that box, you know, because we had the holes to put that in. So that's a bummer. That really is a bummer. So I don't have that. Come on, Snap-on, I thought you kept all this stuff in. Oh my goodness. All right, so anyway, so we have that. And so now the next challenge was I was putting it all together. So I thought before I show you, because once I start doing it, you're going to see everything. Let me show you the next part. The next part is I've been trying to take my tools out of this box right here and my Snap-on, just only the Snap-on, and put it in here. So I've been using a system called Tool Grid. And so a dear friend of mine, Stuart, you probably heard him when actually I had this. He's the one that went through and created this for me. You might remember that little boom box that takes that M18 Milwaukee battery. Love that thing, by the way. But anyways, so Stuart, while I was gone, he went through and printed me off a bunch of Tool Grid on his 3D printer. And I've been using it to organize my plumb box because that's where I started. And then I thought, man, I came back and I seen how much work that was. And poor guy, Stuart, thank you so much. Man, I am so grateful for that. But anyways, because I realized how much work it was, I ordered me a 3D printer. And so I've been printing my own, and I've been putting it inside the box. Man, it takes a long time, by the way. And so, but I thought I'd take you along for the ride of me transferring the tools over. I already got the majority of them on over there, but one thing's for sure, I'm not going to be able to fit them all. I didn't realize that that box would get that full that fast. I didn't know I had that much Snap-on. In between what you guys have donated and what I picked up along the way, and then definitely from what my father passed on to me, I definitely have a little bit of a collection. Not nearly as much as some of you folks, but for just being Snap-on, here we are. Are you ready? Let me take you along for the ride of how I'm putting the tool grid together in a drawer, and I still don't have all the pieces, but I'm going to give you an idea of what that looks like, how the organization's coming along, and then I'll show you the final reveal. All right, let's get the camera back turned around and go take a look. Here we go. All right, so as we go through, you can see that my top drawer on this big old 84-inch Husky is all torn apart. Man, it took me a long time to put this thing together. And it looks something like this right here. And so as we get going, this is where we're at here. So I got most of it over there as far as the ratchets are concerned. So I'm going to finish taking the rest of this. And so the other portion that I took was some of my miscellaneous drawers that were in here. I still have some really old, remember these are the S/O sockets. And so I still got this that I need to put in there. And then this is the part I for sure am not going to be able to fit it all in there, I don't think. Or at least something's got to give. And here's what I think's got to give. I'm going to try to put all my wrenches inside there separator drawer for metric, separator drawer for SAE. So we'll see how that turns out. But when I come over here, definitely all my sockets, and I already have some over there, I'm probably going to have to pull those out, and we're going to have to come up with something different. So I'm not going to be able to put in my Snap-on sockets, I don't think. Then I got a bunch of miscellaneous screwdrivers that are here that I'm not going to be able to get in either. So the rest of these drawers are filled with different brands, but that's where I'm at right now. So I've been trying to do my ratchets and some other miscellaneous items. All right, let me get the camera turned around and I'll go show you what we have over there in that ratchet drawer we're trying to put together. All right, here we go. Okay, so we are here with the tool grid inside this box. This is my ratchet drawer. This is what I just showed you. I took out some of those ratchets and I put them over here. And so this is what I've been printing. And so I've been printing these out and been laying them down here at the bottom. You can see it down. Now some of these, as you can see, I've been printing out these little ratchet holders as well. So that way I can kind of get everything in place. So I got pretty much it lined out, although I'm missing some plates down here. And so I went through and I created a custom size that's going to fit inside the drawer down here. So that way I didn't have to cut them on the table saw or some other means. So we're going to put that together. We're going to see how that's going to go and see how we do it. So over here, just to give you an idea, I got my 3/8 inch drive over here, some different models. And then it goes up to a little bit of 1/2 inch, actually 1/2 inch right over here. But I do have even some of the other newer acquisitions that I've had here is our Snap-on with the push button indexing swivel head here. And so that's kind of cool. So I have those. So I've been trying to kind of put them in place just a little bit, right? And then I have my 3/4 inch, let's see here, Snap-on over here, and then some breaker bars, specialty ratchet, some longer 1/2 inch ratchets on this side. And then we're coming back over here with some 3/8, and then I'll do some 1/4. So let me put this on time lapse, and that way you can kind of see how I'm going to put this together, and then we'll kind of speed up the video and kind of show you what we're doing, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, so as you can see, I got most of the drawer done. It's not all the way complete, but again, we start off over here. This is the 1/2 inch right on top with the soft grip, and then we get into a couple other soft grips with that same model, and so we have those. And then as we come down, this is how we have the drawer set up. And then I have some other 3/8 so breaker bar, and then some long handled ratchets that are here. Now, one of the things you might notice, like right in here, I have these little end holders, which I haven't put in place yet. I don't have them all printed out yet. But I'm going to print those out. Each one of these will have its own placeholder to kind of keep it exactly in place. And part of the reason is because you can see when I shut the drawer, they move around just a little bit. As you can see, that one was moved. And then I also have, 1, 2, 3 more plates to put over here, and then this drawer will be complete. I have a little bit of room to grow, but this thing is extremely versatile. You can go through and you can move it around all kinds of different ways. But anyways, this is the tool grid system, and so I've used that on my Milwaukee box before, and then I went to the Plum, which I'll show you in the future video. But now, since we're getting ready to display this Snap-on, this is what I thought we'd do. I just didn't anticipate. I've always bought it, so I didn't anticipate it me taking this long to print it all. All right, so I'm going to go through and try to get the rest of this put together, and then we'll kind of show you the end reveal. Now, all of the drawers aren't going to have the tool grid, but now you got an idea of where we're going with it. All right, I'll be right back. And the next time you see me, we're going to show you the box. All right, here we go. All right, we are back for the final unveiling of our Snap-on box. Well, my goodness, this has been weeks and weeks in the making. And so we'll start off with the top here. So we just took kind of like a butcher block scenario and we just kind of finished this off. I still got to do another coat, but I was running out of time and I just wanted to do it. So we have this oil filter can here, Snap-on. Now you might recognize that some of these things are out of my other box that we had all the previous Snap-on stuff in. And so in this particular piece is a bottle opener. And so I just thought, well, you know what? It was in another box. I'm going to put it right up here. Now you might notice right back here, we'll start off here first actually. We have our Jesse's Garage Snap-on sign. And you might notice that this is the custom 50s edition. So that's kind of what I'm naming this particular toolbox here. So I 3D printed this plate. So here's a question for you. So I did it in this turquoise color or whatever color you call it. And I did it with the red. And then underneath it, I did a different version. So I did it with the red with that turquoise or this green color, blue color, whatever it is, as a highlight. So which one of these do you like better, by the way? Do you like one better than the other? And so if so, please let me know. The reason why I did it this way was to kind of match the box. And so, but hey, we have the other one too. Put your comments down below. Which one do you like? All right. And so as we go through, I don't know if you remember, but we had that little Snap-on panel wagon that's here. And so we found that at an estate sale as well. And so that was pretty cool to be able to find that. And then you might remember this wrench? So the Snap-on 1 3/4 inch wrench. Man, look at that. This thing is gorgeous, right? So I'll try to move a little bit slower to kind of capture it all. But this is the wrench that Brandon actually donated to the channel some time back. And then you might remember as we went through, and by the way, that wrench is bad to the bone. Doesn't it look good up there, by the way? Check that out. Man, that just looks awesome up there, right? And so you might notice that we found this emblem here. And so I was out on an estate sale and man, I was looking everywhere and I couldn't really find a whole lot. But I looked way on the top shelf and they didn't even price it because they didn't even see it. I bought this 55 Chevy emblem, I believe is what it is, for $5. $5. Now, you know, it's not perfect here, so but nevertheless, it's pretty doggone cool, isn't it? Anyways, that's what gave me the inspiration to kind of set the theme for the toolbox here. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So this wooden top that's on here. So as we go through and we look at this top, it's pretty nice looking, right? And so like that. But I know some of the questions you're going to ask. Hey, Jesse, wasn't there like a big old hole right here? And wasn't there a big old hole back here? Yes, there was. And yes, there is actually still. Now, the reason why, you might remember, I spent a little bit of time in December in Indonesia. I thought I had ordered a lock, but apparently something happened where it didn't get ordered. And then I came back and was asking about it. We tried to order it, and Snap-on corporate said they do not make the lock mechanism, the rod that goes from here to the back that makes the slide go up and down. They don't make that anymore. So my goodness. So anyways, I don't have that. And so I left it open on purpose for the sake of, I want to rig something up. And let me tell you my idea, and then you can tell me what you think about it. So my idea is that if I scooted this back, whenever I went through and did this number, like it was taking a nosedive, that would be open. Whenever I laid it down as normal, that would be locking the toolbox. So I got to figure out some kind of mechanism that's going to be able to attach that there. But I don't know. What do you think? Is that a pretty good idea? Should I try to go through and try to figure out if I can hand make a rod that goes from here onto the back? So one of our subscribers, so sorry, I can't remember the name, and so sent me an email Boy, he's on here all the time. I am so sorry. But anyways, he sent me some pictures of the inside. So I got an idea of maybe something we can make to utilize this lock. But anyways, so there's that. So there's the top. Anyways, I just thought I'd kind of answer that. Here's the only thing about this box, incidentally. You might notice that I put this mag mat over here, and I just put some pry bars and a little magnet, and then a little scraper on here, all Snap-on. And so when I did this box, here's the only thing. Not all my Snap-on fit in here. I did not put any sockets in here. Well, I shouldn't say any. The majority of my sockets are not in here, nor the miscellaneous screwdrivers are in this box. Oh, crazy, isn't it? So I'm looking for some ideas. Let me know. My idea was, should I buy like a side box and hang it onto the side, and then house some sockets over here, maybe do two, maybe put some over here and put my screwdrivers, or maybe do SAE on this side and metric sockets on this side, and then the miscellaneous screwdrivers. I don't know. I'm just looking for ideas, because one thing is for sure, everything I had in my other box, I cannot get in here. I didn't realize I had that much Snap-on. Not that I have a lot compared to you guys, but I don't have it. Now, the other thing is that the difference between this and my Husky box is that this is only like 20 or so inches deep. My Husky box is 25. Man, I never realized, incidentally, that a 25-inch box, deep box, would make that much of a difference. But anyways, as we're going along the front here, you can see we have these little emblems. So what do you think about that? Man, that's kind of cool, right? And so these are all the different logos, or the variations of logos that they came out with throughout the years. And since we're doing this Chevy theme, I went ahead and printed me out a 3D printout of Chevrolet, and then I put the Snap-on logo down lower. Now, when I first got the box, the deeper box was up here, the deeper drawer was up there. But another reason why I didn't put the sockets in here is because I have some of my sockets that are taller than this drawer. And if I couldn't put all my sockets in there, I didn't see the reason to put any of my sockets in there, or at least for the most part. You'll see what I mean by that. But anyways, if I take a step back, what do you think about that? There's the box right there. And so in all its glory, with our sign on top, with the big wrench, the emblem, the panel wagon, the bottle opener, and then the color. What do you think about the color? And also, incidentally, you might notice, remember the other one? They were red. It was red right in here. The handles were aluminum or anodized red. And so I went through and wrapped them. And so we'll talk about that in just a little bit as well. But anyways, that's what it came out like right there. Anyways, somebody said, put some armor on the tires. I did it. I put some armor on the tires. Man, that did make a difference. Man, those bad boys are rocking now. And so that's pretty good. All right. Well, let's jump into the box itself. So I put all my thinner drawers right on top. And incidentally, man, these slides, they didn't hardly open up. I don't know if I showed that in a previous video, but my goodness, they did not want to open at all, or at least it was a struggle to do that. So now they're super, super good, except for one slide 6. So I have to talk to my Snap-on guy. Do you think Snap-on would replace that? I kind of hoping they will. But anyways, as we get going and looking at this, we can see over here in this top left-hand corner, I got a number 6 ratcheting adapter that's right here. And so, my goodness, I am just plumb excited about that. Now, this one was my dad's, and so, in fact, there it goes. I can have the logo up now. So this one was my dad's, and so that was neat. And then you might remember, so Matt at Matt's Garage, 1792, 96, I think 1796, something like that, Matt's Garage. And so he had found this in a basement, I believe, and he sent it over just like this. The breaker bar, the ratcheting adapter, and the socket. My goodness. And that was before I even found that I got this from my dad. And so, Matt, you are just the bomb. Thank you so much for that. And so we have our little 105th anniversary medallion up here. Have this old wrench. So I just kind of got some neat little toys down in here in this drawer. And so I just thought that was kind of cool. And so we have this valve adjusting wrench. Have these old boxes, man. And so in some of these boxes, they're pretty cool. I don't have this one open where I can open it up real easy, but this is a bunch of swivel adapters. And so we got a T-handle, some breaker bars, some feeler gauges. And so you remember these 3 ratchets, the Corvette ratchets. So those are cool as all get out. So they're just only made for Corvette. One of them was made by Snap-on, and a couple others are made by some other people. So I got these old boxes that I picked up along the way last year. And so you might notice, man, is that cool or what? And so if I open it up inside, we do see we have a spinner handle, a couple ratchets, breaker bars, some sockets in here, but I'm missing the T-handle. So that kind of drives me nuts, but that's all right, because later on in the year, I found this bad boy. Now this one has that original sticker that's on it, just like you can see right there. But when I open this one up, it does have a T-handle right here. And so that's cool. And it does have an extension, does have the ratchet and the breaker bar, a spinner handle, not as many sockets. So it's still, man, how cool is that, right? So I love that. And then I found this set. So I think this was at an auction. I think is where I picked that up. So that's cool. Remember, we got this this torque wrench here. So I love that. I think that came from Brandon. And then, of course, we have another torque wrench. Remember, I found this in Michigan. Remember all you guys in Michigan, you guys gave me a hard time because I didn't tell you I was coming. Well, guess what? I'm going to be going back up there. Now, I expect some company, by the way. And so when I get back up there, I won't be putting a message out. And I expect you guys to be joining me on a few hunts here and there. Or at least, if nothing else, let's go get a beer. How about that? And so these are some really old, this is where I've been putting my vintage, real vintage stuff that dates back just a little bit. So we can see another T-handle here. And so we have another big T-handle here. And so, man, check out this wrench, by the way. So it's a Snap-on, and it's the 25, let's see here, 2512, I believe it is. And so that logo just really stands out as well. Man, look at that. Is that cool or what? And then I have that, remember this linesman's ratchet with the wrench at the end? Man, that is cool as all get out as well. But anyways, that's our drawer. That's our top drawer. That's what I chose to put in it. And so because it's so shallow, I just had to put a lot of stuff that was flat in here. So I really couldn't do a lot in that regard that way. And so as I shut that drawer, man, look at that. Man, that's nice, isn't it? All right, and so our second drawer, as we come out, you might notice that we have a few other goodies in here. So we have some pliers that we found just right along the way. And guys, you know what's amazing is that a lot of this came from estate sales or garage sales or some different auctions. I cleaned some of these up. And this is where I'm keeping my red handle or ratcheting. So I have a ratcheting screwdriver here. I have my 75th anniversary, so we can get a sneak peek right there. Ratcheting screwdriver there. Got my little adjustable wrench. So if I move on this way, you can see that we got our pink handle. And so these pink handle screwdrivers, pink handled ratchet, and this is that electric pink, I believe is what they call it. And so then you can see we got some pliers as well. Not that I needed some, but you know, I always just wanted to kind of do something just in pink. And so there you go. This is a new acquisition for us. What do you think about this? Do you guys have this little 1/4-inch driver? And so, man, goodness, I really love this thing. In fact, I put together this box with this little Snap-on 1/4-inch driver. And so it even comes with a straight driver is here as well, 1/4-inch drive. And so, my goodness, that's nice. I got this old Snap-on box over here, and so I'm just kind of keeping some miscellaneous things. There's some screwdrivers, and remember those little tiny wrenches, keychain wrenches, some other tchotchke type items here, can openers, thumb drives, keys. So that's what I'm keeping here in this second drawer. All right, and so if I shut that, And then we're going to go to our third drawer. And so our third drawer is our Chevrolet drawer, but or at least that's the tag that's on it. And so as I go through, this is my ratchet collection in part. So this is ratchet collection part 1. So you might notice that we have over here, so we have a 1/2 inch right up here. So drive ratchet, and then we have this ratchet which has that push button and with the indexing head that can move back and forth. And then I have this one here that we picked up. And incidentally, I picked up this ratchet for $15, but it was missing all the guts in it. And so the Snap-on guy was able to go through and help me get that back together. So that was cool as all get out. So we have our blue handled here. So both, and incidentally, here on down is 3/8 inch. That's my only 1/2 inch drive that I have up in this area. And so we have a bunch of other 1/2 inch drive ratchets here. Do you see any that you have in your lineup, in your box? And if you do, put that in the comments. We'd love to hear that. Am I picking them up in the right fashion here? So these are all the standard length, which you might notice. We have a breaker bar, and then we have some long handled. So long handled with the straight head on it without any flex, and these two are flex. This one here is a straight handle flex, and then this one here, see if I pointed off to the side, is this angled flex head. And then of course a couple more breaker bars as we get going. Now you might notice everything in the bottom here. I've been busy as all get out with this grid system that I have in the bottom here. I've been printing and printing and printing, trying to put this box together. And so again, we have 3/8 inch stuff here. I have some 1/4 inch drive stuff down here. So that's cool. Got a 3/8 inch stubby. That's right here as well. And then of course we have our 100-year anniversary with the red handle on the 1/4 inch drive. And then over here is where I keep some of the bigger stuff. So now this, when I say bigger, this is my 3/4 inch breaker bar, that sliding T-bar that's right there. And then we got a couple regular breaker bars here that are 1/2 inch. And then this is kind of a double knuckle ratchet as well. And so for alignments. And then we got also this nice long handled 1/2 inch drive. So that's cool. We got the industrial finish black. And then we got another long handled. We got a couple shorties. And then, I didn't realize how much they pile up on you here, but here's some 3/4 inch ratcheting adapters, some 1/2 inch ratcheting adapters. And then I put some 3/8 inch ratcheting adapters. Now I don't have a 1/4 inch. Man, I wish I had a 1/4 inch, but I don't, but that's all right. We'll find one along the way. But anyways, that's my ratchet drawer number 1. Let me show you ratchet drawer number 2 as we get going. So we can shut that. And then this is the drawer that kind of sticks along the left-hand side just a little bit. So Snap-on, if you guys are watching, or Terry and Christina, if you guys are watching, what can we do about that? Can we get a slide for that? Can somebody give me an education on how I can fix that? Anyways, we'll get back to the toolbox here. Now these are my flat handles. And so you might notice as we get going here, it kind of seems like it runs in little spurts, because for a while there I was finding all kinds of flat handles, and then I haven't found any at all at any of the auctions or estate sales. But these are all the different ones that we have. And then I come back up here. There's another 1/2 inch, but then they start going into 3/8 inch drive, as you can see. And then at some point after the breaker bar, they go into the 1/4 inch drive. Now you might notice that some of these are sliding around. I didn't have time. I ran out of time. I don't have time to print everything. But you see what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to create these little handle holders here. And as I do, then I will start putting them all over the place. Like this one here on this 1/4 inch has one, but these two don't. And so that's going to hold everything nice and neat and in place. And then over here on this side, you might notice I got this number 71N ratchet. And this is one that I cleaned up a long time ago. And this actually came in a box. And the reason why I kind of kept this one separate, because I wanted to kind of keep it that way. It came with the ratchet. It came with the breaker bar. It came with this long extension, the short extension. and this first row of sockets is what it came with. It may have come with an extension and also the drag link socket as well. So that's what we have going on here. And incidentally, did you notice on this drawer and also this drawer, I believe, yeah. And so did you notice that I kind of did a teal color right over here? And so versus the rest of it, it was black. What do you think about that color? You know, now that I'm looking at it, oh my goodness, how killer would that have been if I would have been able to get the teal throughout the whole grid system along the bottom of the box. Now I had the black. I haven't had this thing 3D printer but just a couple weeks, and so I've been printing like crazy. But I wish I would have known how much I would have fallen in love with that, and I would have printed this whole box in teal. Man, would that have been cool or what, right? And so now I got a line of sockets that are here, and so we have those. And these sockets, incidentally, are some of our oldies and but goodies here. You can tell as we get going with that logo that's there, and then this one's a G. I forget the date on it. We have to go look it up, but look how clean these are. Man, nice, right? And so you might notice that I also have these socket holders. Now, these ones here in the orange, I don't know if I'm going to use those permanently or not. But anyways, at least I got something in there. These four don't have any type of socket holders. So I'm trying to determine which ones I really like, and I'm going to try to print a bunch of socket holders to go in there. But this is my 3/8 inch, and this is the mid depth. So this is not even the deep well. I only have a couple of those. A swivel extension. This is a swivel socket. And so, you know what the nice thing about this, by doing the grid system, is that it helps me understand what I have and what I don't have. So I got a lot of 1/2 inch, right? In fact, this is the set that I got with that. But now notice the other set that I got this past summer. And so I created a video on that. And so how cool is that? Man, talk about even more complete. So that is neat. Now down here, you might notice we also have a couple other ratchets. So this one is really old. And so when I pull this one out, just as an example, this is an old Snap-on open head. And let's see if I can find the model on here. Yeah, we are. The P97, I think it is. Yeah, the P97. And so, my goodness, how beautiful is that, right? I think I got that when I was in Michigan, I think. And so that's cool. Now, right along my way over this last year, I was able to find an original number 7. And so I forget where I got that from. But this original number 7, and then a guy down in Wellington, I think just south of me, about 30, 40 minutes or so, or somewhere down south of me, he had an anniversary edition of the number 7. And so this is the original number 7. This is the anniversary number 7 that we have there. And then you remember these? These are 5/8 inch drive S over O sockets. And so let's see if I can find that. Or no, wait, these are the, you know what? I got two different ones here. So I got the old Snap-on, but 5/8 inch drive. And then maybe, let's see if it's these here. See if I can find that there. No, that says it as well. Somewhere I got some S over O's, and so those are cool. But anyways, these are all matching set, and so these are going to be our 5/8 inch drive sockets that we have here. So anyways, that's my second Snap-on ratchet drawer. And so now I have a couple extensions here only because they came with that. I don't really have any more extensions that I can put in here. I have more, but they're just not going to fit. Oh my goodness, I know it, right? And so as you can see, I got a little bit of room to grow right in here, but not much. Everything else is pretty much taken up, just like you see right here. So anyways, that's my second Snap-on drawer, ratchets. And then as I open up the next one, this is my metric wrench drawer. And so as we come through, we have a double open end right here. And so they come down. And again, Brandon was a nice contributor to that. Found these other ones right along the way in metric. And so as you can see, I started a set here. They come all the way down here, and then they start to reverse and go back up, right? And so see this one here. in metric. Let's see what this one goes to. If I can pull it out real easy. Sorry about that. And so this one here is going to be number 19. And so now I didn't get a chance to print out any tool grid for this one here, but that's where we're at. And so when I look at this one on this side, this one goes up to a 22. And so, but this is metric and metric. And then I also have some other metric over here. This is some overflow SAE. And so this is some double open end with the angle offset here. And then of course, the same thing as we get down into these little ignition wrenches. But that's my metric drawer in wrenches. And so I decided just to divide it up. And that way I know if I need a metric, I just go to metric, right? And so kind of go from there. And then as I close that, I open it back up. This is going to be my SAE drawer. And so as we're looking at this, boy, they go down, you know, they get down there a little bit and then they come all the way up. These take up some pretty good amount of room here. I think they go to 1.125 or something like that, 1.25 and then this is the older style of the Snap-on. I got some newer style. Some of this is with flank drive that's in here as well. And then of course I got this industrial handle double open SAE. I got some double box as we get going down here. Even a tubular one that is just like immaculate. And then I got a bunch of other SAE. Here's some stubbies down here. Here's some line wrenches or brake bleeder valve wrenches. And then I got some other line wrenches. And then I got some Soltis type wrenches over here. Yeah, I just got all kinds of stuff that's in this area right here. And so that's going to be our SAE drawer. And you can tell this one's pretty full, right? And so what do you think about that? Now, I just recycled these holders into this area here. So if we shut that and go to our last drawer, this is what we have in our last drawer. Remember, we put this in a video. So a friend of mine was able to pick that up. Kevin was able to pick that up at an auction for me. And so I haven't even busted it out. I just kept it all inside the case here. So it includes that little model car and a couple of ratcheting, pistol grip and a regular ratcheting screwdrivers that are in there. I got a Snap-on pouch, and then I've got another box down here. This little box just has a bunch of miscellaneous things in it. Oh yeah, I forgot I put all my ratcheting wrenches that are in here because I didn't have room to put them up there. Got some miscellaneous sockets that I need to be able to put together there. And so this is that original box I was telling you that 71N came in. All of that came in this box. Now I haven't redone it yet, but I want to. I found this at remember my neighbor Larry. Remember I did that video, and so he had that there. Actually, he just gave it to me. So it was a Snap-on puller that's there. And then of course we have some punches and chisels that are there, and of course we got our impact gun, which is cool as all get out. And then down here we have that impact set. See if I can open it up here. That way, now I didn't get any tool liner for this yet, so some of these drawers are still pretty rough. I ran out of time, but nevertheless, here we go. As you can see here, we have this impact driver that's here, and so that's cool as all get out. So we got that. That's a pretty complete set that way. Anyways, that's our box, our Snap-on Toolbox that we have for you here. What do you think? Do you like the color? Do you like the design? Did I do right? Now, one thing I learned is wrapping these in this chrome versus that carbon fiber look. Man, this is way less forgiving than that carbon fiber look is. But it looks good, but my goodness, it's just way less forgiving that way. And so, but I think for the museum that we're getting ready to try to put together, I call it that. I hope I can make it as good as what I'm seeing in my head. I think it's going to be pretty good. And so, again, that's one piece there. All right. So there's that. Now, you know, here's the thing. Did you notice I'm missing majority of my screwdrivers and the majority of my sockets? So let me let me go cut away to the where I have those at, and then I'm looking for some ideas. Do I put some side lockers on it, some side cabinets? What do I do? So let me break away, and then let me show you what we have left, okay? Okay, so this is our drawer that we have left here. And so we got a couple socket rails that we have here. And my goodness, I mean, these bad boys are nice. I want to show them off well. I just don't know how to do that. So this is 3/8 inch 19 size socket there, metric. You notice, remember these? I did the socket cleanup on some impact sockets. Man, those suckers are still nice looking, aren't they? And so there's that. And so we have our crow's feet down here. So miscellaneous. I got a bunch of extensions there. Got some locking extensions. Got some impact deeps. Some other sockets, and these are all 3/4 inch, by the way. So I have that that I need to figure out what am I going to do with it. But not only that, if I move over here and I open this drawer up, you might notice I got all these sockets. And so what am I going to do with these? I need to figure out a method. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this. So, I mean, I've kind of been working on completing these sets, and they're turning out really well. Would you not agree? And I got all kinds of miscellaneous things that I need to kind of organize just a little bit. And you guys have seen that. And I got more that from other tool hauls that I haven't even put on the channel yet, or put in the drawers, that I need to figure out what to do. So there's my socket scenario that I have. And then down here are some extra miscellaneous screwdrivers that I have here. And so I didn't have room to put these anywhere in place either. All right, that's what I got. So the box and then these extras, I'm looking for some help, some feedback. Please put it down in the comment. Let me get the camera turned around. Let's wrap up this video, okay? Okay, we are back. Wow, my goodness, what do you think about that? My goodness, we have worked so hard on that box over the last couple of weeks, just off and on whenever we had time to go and attack it. I think overall, except for that one slide, man, those drawers, they pull out real nice and smooth. I can tell the more weight we put in them, the smoother they actually go. So I'm glad I tore the box completely apart. I took all the slides out, cleaned them all up. I took the drawers out, cleaned them up. And so, yeah, I think it turned out pretty good, but you be the judge. And you know what? You're not even going to hurt my feelings, because this box was rough. My goodness, if you don't think I did a good enough job, I get it. No big deal. But I think overall, you know, compared to the way it was, I'm pretty happy camper that way. And so, but again, put it down in the comments. Let us know. Also, how about all these sockets and screwdrivers? It drives me nuts. I'm not able to fit them inside that toolbox there. Give me some ideas. And so would love to hear about that, because I'm on the hunt. I even thought about, I had some Kennedy toolboxes, some side cabinets. I was thinking about maybe painting those and hanging them on the sides, or going over to Harbor Freight, or buying some of their side cabinets, or trying to find a Snap-on cabinet. I've been looking. I haven't been able to find any. I'm looking for ideas. So here's your chance to participate. Put it in the channel or the comments below, because when I move that box next door, I'd like to try to keep all my Snap-on together for the most part. I can easily see we're probably going to outgrow that, but you know what? It is what it is, right? And so we're trying to do that. Guys, thank you so much. I know I haven't been producing as many videos lately. It's because of that doggone thing trying to eat up my time. But we really appreciate you stopping by. Tell your friends about us. Hit the share button if you don't mind. Tell you if they are interested in Snap-on, click that button. Man, we'd love to have them join the show. This is what we do. We have fun. All right, hit the like button, hit notifications, and then that share. And until next time, we'll see you on the next video.